Alright Exiles, we're back in the world of Path of Exile 2, and today I have a updated video for my Explosive Mercenary Gemling Legionnaire Witch Hunter, doesn't really matter, build. This build has undergone a significant change. The damage on this build has at least quadded from what I can tell, and I can absolutely decimate pretty much all the content that I've seen thus far. Obviously the Pinnacle bosses are a little bit tougher, but everything else just gets absolutely melted. I don't want to like do any fluff or anything. I just want to jump into the build and just show you, have some gameplay playing on the side there so you guys can just watch the gameplay. But let's go over the build and everything because there's been a lot of changes. I want to double check, yeah, making sure my camera's not blocking anything. But yeah, so first things first, we have capped all our resistances. Our evasion is sitting at a comfortable 54%. Our armor is sitting at a comfortable 30%. We did lose a bit of armor and evasion, but we did gain a ton of resistances, and that has been the major focus because while having 50% evasion, 30% armor is great, having capped resistances, at least on the elementals, are way more important. We're still working on chaos. It's going to take maybe a day or two more. I just need to buy some items. But overall, we have made some significant changes. The other thing I wanted to point out that's super big, and objectively the biggest, is our DPS on our bow. As you can see here, it has almost 6,000 base tooltip damage, and that is pretty significant considering we don't have a 6-link. Now, our damage has skyrocketed by quite a bit. We are destroying enemies in seconds, and outside of maybe the fire resistant ones, because they're obvious, for obvious reason, they're a little bit harder to kill, we just decimate everything because of these changes. With that said, let's go over all the changes because they're super important and I kind of want to talk about things. So first things first, we still have our artillery ballista. We're using artillery ballista with ancestral urgency, culling strike, and persistence. We wanted to stay up as long as possible. That just to help us benefit with the culling strike. That's pretty much it. It helps with aggro, things like that. We have extra slots, so we may as well use them. Second, we're addition of Wind Dancer. We added Wind Dancer to this. The reason for this is very simple. We wanted more evasion, and every time you're not hit for a duration, you will get multiple stacks of Wind Dancer, giving you 18% more evasion. As you can see here, we're getting 18% more evasion per stack, up to 3 stacks. And this means we have a pretty sizable amount of evasion, so it's hard for us to get hit. When we get hit, Wind Dancer will activate and it will push enemies away. And I added cannibalism, so it can help us with our kills. We get mana back. Life back. We have maim on this, so whenever they get hit by this, they'll get pushed away, and then they'll like get slowed down because that's what maim does. And then we have magnified effect just so we can push them away further, and that is the newest addition in terms of auras. We have one more aura, but that's a new addition. Next, we have Herald of Ash. I think we all know what Herald of Ash do at this point. It just helps with us with the ignite explosions. Very synergistic to the build and very important to continue to have. We added clarity to this. If you're a Gemling Legionnaire specifically, you can add an additional clarity for 10 more spirit, and this will super help with your mana. I get a lot of the questions about mana. Mainly just use clarity, and that's usually all I need from what I can tell. I don't have mana issues. But if you are another Gemling Legionnaire, just add another clarity. This could help you if you have the spirit reserve. And then we're using herbalism because this is going to give us more recovery from our flasks while one of our flasks is active, so it's really powerful. Next is our explosive shot, and this one is super important because I get this one a lot from you guys in the comment section. So as you can see here, we have 5,979 damage. We got this additional link. The way we did this was very simple. We just got it to 3 link and then we corrupted it to get an additional link. That's how a lot of people are getting cheap 5 links. So you can do that way if you want to gamble that. It only took me like 4 pulls to get it, so that's how you can do it. We have Scatter Shot to do the multiple shots. We have Martial Tempo for the attack speed. We have Heft, and then we have Fire Infusion because this is going to give us additional fire damage, but we deal less Golden Lightning, and that's fine. That's not the most important thing anyway, because our lightning comes from Herald of Ash. If you Herald of Thunder, sorry. If you actually saw some of the footage, or you're seeing on screen now, we're actually getting lightning procs from Herald of Ash. Herald of Thunder. Sorry, I keep saying that, and that's why this doesn't matter. Now, the thing that you guys ask me a lot of is, why would primal armaments be better? Wouldn't primal armaments be better than Heft? And I'm gonna just show you the tooltip so you can see here. So I have 5,979 with Heft. I have 5,496. And the reason for this is because this skill, irregardless of what it says about the explosions, you have to understand that it converts 80% of the physical damage to fire. This does not mean that fire is like not gonna, like, this doesn't mean physical is not gonna scale. So if you continue to add more fizz to it, irregardless of what it converts to, it's still scaling off the base of physical damage. So by increasing my physical damage by 30% versus giving 25% to elementals specifically, you're scaling more damage because it's off the base of physical. So I just wanted to make sure you guys know that, because I get that comment so much that primal armaments is better. It's absolutely not. And also, elemental on weapons are not good either, because I believe it's not local anymore. It's like global or something. But just keep that in mind. Anyway, continuing on, we have Leaf Slam, Martial Tempo, Holy Descent. Don't need Martial Tempo if you're not a Gemling Legionnaire. Just use whatever you want. You can use like the Lifesteal one. That works well. The new addition is, thanks to a lot of you guys' comments, I added Oil Grenade, because Oil Grenade slows, and we use things like Encumberment, Scatter Shot, Magnified Effect, and that just gives us some fire pin, which is actually really valuable. So yeah, thank you guys for the comments, appreciate the suggestions, and definitely wanted to add that on. But that does really well, it's a big addition. And then we have Emergency Reload. This one is super good for mobbing. Instantly reload your active crossbow and empower the loaded bolt to deal more damage. You can just do this to do more damage, mobbing or not. You can just deal more damage, doesn't matter. So this is super good. We put Ingenuity on this so we can reduce the cooldown of it. We put Persistence on this for the duration of the buff, and then we put, once again, Premeditation, because it empowers supported skills, and since this one empowers skills, it makes it 15% more better. Now if you're not a Gemling Legionnaire, I would just take this out of the Artillery Ballista and just only use it in this Emergency Reload for the extra damage, so that's super important. The final and objectively the most important part of this entire build is that we have Herald of Thunder once again. I actually have a 4-link. I don't know why I'm using the 3-link one, but we have Heralds and because we don't have anything else. Like we can't put anything here. We need more spirit. That's why. Anyway, we have Herald of Thunder here, and what this does is whenever we shock an enemy and deal damage, our next shots will deal electric like shocks, like lightning bolts out of the sky. And so this is going to be helping us with AoE clear. The added things we put on this is Coaling Strike to help Cole. We put Herbalism because I really like having my flask just give me a lot of extra juice. And then we have Maim because, very similar to what we said a second ago, Maim is gonna always slow enemies and stuff like that, so that's really helpful whenever we're maiming them, right? You don't have to use Maim here because you already used it on the Gale Wind. Just kind of use it whichever one you want. But yeah, that's what we're using. Really nice. Now, very similar to our last video, we're going to be moving forward with the fact that we're going to we're only going to look at the gear first and then go to the passive tree, since it makes more sense. And what's super important to note about this build is we added the 3 Dragon Solid Mask. And the reason why we're able to proc shock, which I'm sure a lot of you had that question, is simply because the 3 Dragon Solid Mask, whenever you ignite things, you contribute to shock charge buildup, as you can see on screen now. And that means this is going to make it so that you can actually shock enemies, since we ignite through Herald of Ash, to the fire attacks that we do and things like that. So this is going to actually contribute to getting it. And I think this, while you don't necessarily need this item to make this build work, if you really want to like take your clear to the next level and really give yourself more damage, take that to the next level, then you definitely want to pick this up. Right now, I feel like I'm just saying, it feels like there's some market manipulation going on with Path of Exile trade right now with this item. Sometimes you see it for 1, sometimes you see it for like 20 divine. Like something's really funky with this weapon. That's kind of helmet, and that's kind of why I was a little reluctant to post this video. But if you sit there long enough, you'll eventually get one for a actual normal price. But yeah, this is what we're using. This is a very big piece in the build, and this is the second most expensive build piece depending on where you get it. Now, the other addition that we've added to this is our crossbow. Now, I wanted to use a crossbow that had an additional bolt, but this was the best bang for the buck that I could find. It had really high fizz. As I told you guys, I was going to aim for a 300 plus fizz bow. As we got here is a 438 maximum fizz bow, which is really big. And so we have a ton of damage with this, and it actually gives us mana whenever we kill, and that's probably why I have good mana sustain on top of that. But anyway, we have a ton of damage now, and of course the damage of the skill scales off of fizz, and this is giving us a ton of physical damage, so big addition. On our gloves, we just got more life, got some cold, we got some lightning, resistance, evasion, the same stuff you probably come to expect from a build in Path of Exile 2. You just need it. For our glove, for boost movement speed, life, fire resistance, really important. For our belt, we didn't change our belt. Life, low life, we can get more life, cold resistance, lightning resistance, really nice. Then we did a major change on our chest. Our chest had to get a new thing because it was like super bad because it had no resistances, but we lost a lot of armor and evasion. That's why our armor went down significantly. But we got a lot of we got PDR when we corrupted this, which is super nice. You don't need that though, by the way. But yeah, we got PDR when we corrupted this. We got life. We got more spirit because we wanted to make sure we have all the auras. This is kind of important. You can get this on your necklace as well. We have lightning resistance, and then we got 220 life. And then we put two things in there. We put a cold rune. We put a fire rune. PDR. Looking beautiful. It's a great looking piece right now. I'm very happy with this. And then rings didn't change too much. Elemental resistance, fire resistance, lightning resistance, all elemental resistance. Our rings are our weakest link by a large margin, but they're doing their job. And then we have for our necklace, more life, resistances, evasion, armor, strength, you know, the normal stuff that we come to expect from a build like this. So a lot of extra resistances added. Armor took a bit of a hit, evasion took a bit of a hit, but we are much stronger. For our flask, stayed exactly the same from the last video. Reduced charges used, reduced charges loot used, more amount recovered. It just gives us a ton of sustain. Finally, let's go over the passive skill tree. And once again, we haven't did too much in terms of changes. I kind of didn't go ascend with this character. I ascended on my other characters, but I haven't ascended with this guy just yet. Because to be quite frank, like, the stats are nice, but they're not going to contribute too much. Like, if you're a witch hunter, like, you're probably going to get a ton. But me getting this one doesn't really help too much, if I'm being honest at this point. Like, I can grab the fourth one, but I'll do that some other time. I've been playing the other character. I'm just being real. That's why I did it. But we haven't done anything with the Ascendacy. Just if you are gemling, just get adaptive capabilities, get enhanced effectiveness. That's really it. Witch hunter, do whatever you do. But I don't think the Ascendacy matter too much. Witch hunter is just going to hit harder. That's pretty much all it comes down to. Witch hunter is just going to hit everything much harder than everything else. So good being a witch hunter. Anyway, projectile damage. We grabbed all the projectile damage. We grabbed all the projectile damage here. All this here. We actually don't need this cooldown recovery. You can take these points off if you want to. But we still have this. Battle harden, and then we got all this attack speed. Down here we grab the two-handed damage. Make sure not to take curved weapon because this is accurate. You don't need accuracy. Came all the way down here. Grab this stuff here for adrenaline rush. Grab instant reload for the reload speed. A lot of this have not changed. Came down here. We put a evasion rating, chance to shock, and damage with hits against rare, unique, and rare, just to help us with a little bit of damage. And then on this one, we had increased shock duration, damage penetrate, lightning resistance, and increased element thresholds. Just the best I had. It is really crap, honestly. Got all this attack speed here, and then we grab all the bow stuff here. Same old. The change came in, we took points off of this, and we just have this side, and then we took points off of these two, and we just kept this, and then we made our way up here, and grabbed all the stun build up. And the reason why this is important is because we do a ton of stun. And I mean, if you guys see the footage, you know, it's just stun things in no time. So it's actually really valuable to have this extra damage. Get the extra, you know, benefits from it. Over here, we should grab this, on our next level up, we're grabbing the smoke inhalation. And this is going to give us more damage pin, fire resistance pin. This is actually kind of big because we actually have some, like, pin problems with fire monsters specifically. We still kill them fast, but we kill them much slower than we kill everything else, and we want to kill things fast, right? So that's why we're going to be getting this, possibly grabbing this one as well. But we want to get enough fire pin to, you know, actually kill. But outside of that, that has been the major changes. Oh, I do want to say one more thing that's super important. This is super important. This is going to be probably your most expensive part of this entire build. Over here in the Ranger section, he has this. Coming Calamity. This is going to give you 50% increased cold damage while you have Herald of Ice, 50% for fire when you have Ash, and then 50% for lightning when you have Thunder. I'm contemplating anointing this. If you guys don't know what anointing is, I'll just show you a brief example what anointing is. I mean, I'm not going to anoint it because I don't have the resources, but if you hold left alt, it says Distilled Emotions, Disgust, Isolation, Suffering. And what these are these things. These different type of distilled things, you see, and then you can anoint this onto an amulet, and then that amulet will get the benefits of that keystone without you needing to pass to it. I got that question a lot in the last video. I know a lot of you, not all of you are PoE players. I want to make sure you know that, but you can anoint your items with that, so you can actually make room for different passive. And as you could probably tell looking at this one, is so damn far away, like that's not worth the point investment. That's way too much, right? You have a limited skill point, so you would probably anoint that onto your amulet. But last time I checked the prices, which was yesterday, even without the market manipulation nonsense going on, I think that was like 100 exalted anoint, so it's gonna be like one of the last things you get. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this one. Hopefully you guys liked the video. I know a lot of you wanted to see the update. The damage on this build has gone up significantly. There's still a ton of room for improvement, especially for that, and just like a few more levels. There's some damage, some pin stuff that you can definitely do, but the build is really online. I can do some of the highest tier maps. I think the highest I've done with this build specifically was 14s, but I'm sure you can do 15. It's not that much harder. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this one. Don't forget to leave me a like as well as subscribe to the channel for more Path of Exile 2 and just a ton of variety content. I cover pretty much every game. Link for the mobile links will be down in the description. I will probably do it in the morning when I get up. I'm just gonna schedule this video, but yeah, I'll have it in the morning, afternoon when I wake up. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Later.